Bakers are now having meltdowns because Walmart has the audacity to offer affordable heart cakes. Now, this cake has been trending all over social media for a while now, and before the grocery stores started offering them, you would have to go to a private bakery to get this type of shape, and they are not cheap. Like, sometimes they can cost $80 or more. Nowadays, you can get that same cake for a fraction of the cost. This one was only $25, and they were promoting these heavily for Valentine's Day.
What annoys me about those Walmart cakes is that you guys really affect my business when you buy a $20 one from them versus a $150 one from me. Who wakes up and says, I want a cake made by a Walmart employee? You see, when you get a cake made by a Walmart employee, this is what you're getting. It's not made with love, it's mass production, and you are just a statistic, a number to the corporation. But when you get it made with me, you're gonna get ripped off. The cake is gonna weigh 5 pounds. Remember that, 5 pounds. 2 pounds of that are going to be disgusting buttercream that nobody wants. Another 2 pounds are gonna be fondant. Again, nobody wants that. And then 1 pound is gonna be the actual cake with ingredients that I got from Walmart. So, in conclusion, I think you guys really should just learn to start supporting your local bakers. Because again, why would you go to Walmart and get something that's delicious and affordable and reasonable, and you're helping an employee because you're keeping their store in business, which is giving them job security? Why would you do that?
The internet is at it again with another heated debate, and this time it's all about cake. More specifically, Walmart's viral vintage heart-shaped cake that has sparked a full-blown controversy between small business bakers and budget-friendly grocery store cakes. What started as a simple TikTok review quickly spiraled into accusations, price debates, and even claims of poor shaming. The conversation has taken on a life of its own, with passionate arguments from both sides, and it's clear that this isn't just about cake anymore. It's about business ethics, affordability, and respect for different kinds of craftsmanship. So let's dive into the drama and unpack how a $25 cake turned into one of the most divisive topics online. Because at the end of the day, everyone loves cake, but not everyone agrees on what it should cost, who should be making it, and whether affordability should be celebrated or criticized. It all began when TikTok user at R7Phantom shared a video showing off a beautiful vintage-inspired heart-shaped cake from Walmart. The cake, priced at just $24.9, immediately caught attention for its affordability and aesthetic appeal.
Look at this. Oh, perfect. Oh my God.
Isn't it great?
Chris.
I know, it's my dream.
I have goosebumps.
The soft pink frosting, delicate peeping, and classic heart-shaped gave it a charming, homemade look, something that usually comes with a much higher price tag. The post quickly racked up millions of views, with commenters praising the cake as a steal compared to custom cakes from small business bakers, which can easily cost over $100. The comparison sparked immediate reactions. One commenter mentioned they had paid $165 for a similar custom cake, leading to a flood of discussions about pricing and value. For many, the affordability of Walmart's cake was a game changer, allowing them to enjoy beautifully decorated desserts without breaking the bank. People were eager to share their own experiences, some noting that Walmart cakes had surprised them with their taste and quality, while others reminisced about childhood birthdays where grocery store cakes were the highlight of the celebration.
Bakers are now having meltdowns because Walmart has the audacity to offer affordable heart cakes. Now, this cake has been trending all over social media for a while now, and before the grocery stores started offering them, you would have to go to a private bakery to get this type of shape, and they are not cheap. Like, sometimes they can cost $80 or more. Nowadays, you can get that same cake for a fraction of the cost. This one was only $25, and they were promoting these heavily for Valentine's Day. This pissed off a lot of private and at-home bakers, with them saying that, yeah, the Walmart cakes are cheaper, but that's because they're made with cheap exploitative labor, also lower cost, lower quality ingredients, and that they're not that good in comparison to cakes that you can get from them. Now, I do understand their frustration to a certain extent because, once again, Walmart is taking customers away from small businesses, but some of their logic has left the crowd scratching their heads.
But what is actually grinding my gears here are the people in the comments under videos advertising the cake, complaining about what home bakers are charging for vintage heart cakes. I just find that highly disrespectful to everybody who puts so much time and effort into their cake, especially when having a birthday cake is a luxury.
We have now entered a timeline where a birthday cake is now considered a luxury. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. And I totally disagree with the notion that the cakes from Walmart can't be as good as the ones that you get from private bakers, because number one, a lot of the private bakers be using the same low quality ingredients that they got from where? Walmart. Some of them will even use the box cake mix as a shortcut. As far as taste, the grocery store cakes can be just as delicious as the more expensive ones. In fact, during my graduation party, I had 2 cakes. I prefer the one that came from Food Lion over the one that came from a private baker. Also, not all bakery workers make minimum wage. Some cake decorators make over $20 an hour and actually do love their jobs. Yes, they can open up their own bakery because their cake decorating skills are so good, like this lady's. I'll tag her down below. But some of them just prefer working at Walmart. They like being able to come in, do their job, and go. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, y'all. I don't judge anybody for doing what's best for their wallet, especially when it comes to buying a cake that's mainly there for pictures and it's probably only going to get half eaten anyway. And to my bakers, when your work speaks for itself, you're always going to have people that support you no matter how much you charge. So I wouldn't really worry about competition from Walmart, where people are going there for price above all else.
But while casual viewers were celebrating the budget-friendly find, small business bakers were far from pleased. Many independent bakers felt that the overwhelming praise for Walmart cakes undermined their craftsmanship and hard work. It wasn't just about the price, it was about the effort, skill, and quality that goes into making a custom cake from scratch. And for them, the comparison was unfair and even insulting.
What annoys me about those Walmart cakes is that you guys really affect my business when you buy a $20 one from them versus a $150 one from me. Who wakes up and says, I want a cake made by a Walmart employee? You see, when you get a cake made by a Walmart employee, this is what you're getting. It's not made with love, it's mass production, and you are just a statistic, a number to the corporation. But when you get it made with me, you're gonna get ripped off. The cake is gonna weigh 5 pounds. Remember that, 5 pounds. 2 pounds of that are going to be disgusting buttercream that nobody wants. Another 2 pounds are gonna be fondant. Again, nobody wants that. And then 1 pound is gonna be the actual cake with ingredients that I got from Walmart. So, in conclusion, I think you guys really should just learn to start supporting your local bakers. Because again, why would you go to Walmart and get something that's delicious and affordable and reasonable, and you're helping an employee because you're keeping their store in business, which is giving them job security? Why would you do that versus buy the cake from me at 7.5 times the cost? Make it make sense.
Enter TikTok baker TFB, who is one of the first small business owners to speak out. In her response video, she voiced frustration over Walmart's ability to sell cakes at such a low price. According to her, ingredients alone for a homemade cake can cost between $25 to $35, not even counting labor, packaging, and other expenses. She argued that Walmart cakes produced in bulk with pre-made ingredients simply couldn't compare to the quality of a custom-made, handcrafted cake.
I feel like these Walmart cakes are getting so out of hand. The fact that you can purchase a vintage heart cake for $5 to $25 is insane, considering sometimes ingredients alone cost $25 to $35. And that's not even mentioning other supplies like the cake boxes, cake boards, cake toppers, edible images. You have to remember that the people working there are getting paid minimum wage, even the bakers. So the supplies they use to make your cakes are provided to them by the company. They do not have to pay anything out of pocket, and that makes a big difference. And whether anyone likes to admit it or not, they really are not as neat as some other small businesses that I've seen, which is totally understandable because they do work at a much faster pace. And I've noticed a lot of the times they do not crumb coat their cakes, they don't fill their cakes the way that we do. So yeah, naturally their results are going to be a lot different than the rest of ours. I think it's great that there are more affordable options for people because I understand these cakes are really expensive and they are a luxury. So if you can find something that you desire for a much cheaper price, of course it's only natural that you would go and get it. I would do the same. The issue is that A, the products are incomparable, and B, people think that small businesses need to charge the way that big companies charge. And that's just not realistic. We will not be able to make a livable profit if we were.
TFB went further to elaborate on the difficulties small bakers face when competing with large corporations. She emphasized that homemade cakes require not only premium ingredients, but also significant time, skill, and artistic effort. From perfecting buttercream textures to designing intricate decorations, every step in the process adds to the overall cost of independent cakes. She also pointed out that home bakers often work long hours, balancing client expectations with limited resources, something that large retailers like Walmart do not have to deal with. However, what truly stirred controversy was her direct criticism of Walmart employees. She claimed that since they work for minimum wage and don't personally invest in the ingredients, they don't have the same level of passion or commitment to baking as an independent. artisans. She specifically highlighted Walmart's fast-paced production environment, suggesting that the decorators there prioritize speed over quality, often skipping essential steps such as cramp coating, which results in a less polished final product. Her remarks quickly sparked backlash, as many viewers felt her comments belittled the hardworking employees at Walmart, who often operate under demanding conditions. Critics pointed out that working for a corporation doesn't inherently mean someone lacks skill or care for their craft. Some even argued that Walmart decorators, despite their constraints, managed to produce beautiful cakes that satisfy millions of customers. This part of her argument struck a particularly negative chord, shifting the focus from the pricing debate to questions of worker dignity and respect. The discussion then took a more intense turn as users debated the broader implications of her statement. Was she simply defending small businesses, or was she dismissing an entire workforce in the process? The line between advocating for independent bakers and demeaning Walmart employees became increasingly blurred, leading to an even larger divide in opinions on the platform. As the debate grew, more small business bakers chimed in, each adding their own perspective on the issue. Another baker criticized Walmart cakes, claiming they are slapped together with lower quality ingredients and lack the attention to detail that custom bakers provide. She emphasized that the richness of flavors, premium buttercream, and intricate decorations of independent cakes simply could not be replicated in a mass-produced setting. She argued that the labor-intensive process of creating a custom cake justified the higher price, as home bakers handcraft each element rather than relying on pre-made components.
And honestly, I'm not mad about it, because number one, I would not be able to afford my cakes. If I didn't make them myself, I would be going to Walmart. This is an 8-inch 2-layer chocolate cake that somebody ordered from me this last weekend. I charged $55, and she actually gave me a $20 tip on top of it, but I think it was because it was a last-minute order, which was super sweet of her. Now, yes, my ingredients are made from scratch and all of that, which I know Walmart's isn't. So that's like another argument that it's higher quality ingredients, which that is true, but I'm definitely in the bracket of people where if I was not making my own cakes, I would be going to Walmart. I've heard people say that like Walmart cakes don't look as good as home bakers. My husband was sitting right beside me last night when I was watching all this drama. He was like, I don't agree with that it's not good quality, because you took a lot of pride in your stuff when you were a Walmart cake decorator. And yes, it can be a hit or miss with Walmart, but when you're paying a fraction of the price, I totally get it. I'd actually done a couple heart-shaped ones when I worked there. I just did the cut method. I can't find the pictures.
But things really took a turn when she added that birthday cakes should be considered a luxury, not a necessity. She framed it as a product that should be appreciated for its artistry rather than viewed as an essential part of celebrations. However, this perspective was not well received. This statement struck a nerve with many viewers who felt it implied that people who couldn't afford custom cakes did not deserve to have one at all. Social media erupted with passionate responses, with many calling out the remark as poor shaming. Critics argued that celebrations, especially birthdays, should be accessible to everyone, and cake has always been a symbol of joy that shouldn't be limited to those with a larger budget. Others pointed out that Walmart and other grocery store chains offer an affordable alternative for families who simply want to create a special moment without the financial strain of purchasing a high-end custom cake. Some even turned the argument around, stating that luxury isn't defined by price, but by the emotional significance of the celebration itself. Whether a cake comes from a big box retailer or a boutique bakery, it carries sentiment value, and affordability should not dictate whether someone gets to enjoy the experience. This discussion soon became larger than just a debate about Walmart cakes. It became a broader conversation about accessibility, privilege, and whether high-quality products should be exclusive to those who can afford them. Then came TikToker baker at Cakes by Nams, who added even more fuel to the fire by mocking Walmart cakes, saying some of them look like Doritos. She added that small business bakers put significant effort into crafting cakes with premium ingredients, intricate designs, and meticulous attention to detail, qualities she believed were completely absent in mass-produced Walmart cakes. According to her, Walmart decorators do not have the same artistic freedom or training as independent bakers, making their cakes inferior superior in both taste and presentation. She went on to argue that Walmart can afford to take losses on cake sales because of its massive revenue, whereas independent bakers who rely solely on their craft to sustain their businesses do not have that same luxury. At this point, the conversation was no longer about just cakes. It had evolved into a broader debate about class, affordability, and respect for different types of workers. Some social media users sided with small bakers, believing that handcraft cakes deserved higher pricing because of the time, effort, and quality involved. However, many others criticized small bakers for putting down Walmart employees, many of whom work hard under challenging conditions. Some argued that Walmart decorators, despite working under constraints, still managed to create cakes that brought joy to many people. Others questioned why independent bakers were so upset in the first place. After all, if their cakes were truly superior, wouldn't customers still be willing to pay for them? Some users also pointed out that Walmart's accessibility allowed more people to celebrate special occasions without financial strain, which is something that should be praised rather than ridiculed. Turned into a discussion about privilege, small business struggles, and the fairness of price comparisons between corporate and independent cake makers. As the backlash intensified, TFB found herself at the center of criticism. Some TikTok users even joked that they were now going to buy Walmart cakes out of spite just to make a point. Others vowed never to order from her again, accusing her of elitism and unnecessary hostility toward budget-conscious consumers. Comments flooded her page, with some calling her out for being out of touch with the financial reality that many people face, while others felt she was gatekeeping celebratory dessert. The conversation shifted from pricing disparities to deeper issues of accessibility and economic privilege. Faced with mounting pressure, TFB issued an apology video. She attempted to clarify her stance, saying that her frustration wasn't aimed at people who couldn't afford custom cake, but rather at those who compared small businesses to giant corporations. She elaborated that small bakers operate on much tighter margins and put in significantly more effort per cake than mass production facilities. Walmart, being a multi-billion-dollar company, has the advantage of mass production, standardized processes, and lower costs, which small bakers simply cannot match. However, her apology wasn't exactly well received. Many felt it lacked sincerity, especially since she doubled down on her initial points while only apologizing for her comments about Walmart employees' skills and wages. She admitted she had unfairly assumed their pay, but made it clear that she wasn't backing down from her original argument about pricing differences. Some viewers pointed out that rather than bridging the divide, her response seemed more like damage control than a genuine acknowledgement of the backlash. Others noted that while she may have had a valid point about small businesses, her dismissive tone had alienated potential customers rather than earning their sympathy. Ultimately, the situation highlighted the challenges of balancing advocacy for small businesses with the need to respect and acknowledge consumer choices. At the end of the day, this entire debate wasn't really about whether Walmart cakes were better or worse than small business cakes. The real issue is how the conversation unfolded. Rather than focusing on the value of handmade products, some small bakers turned their frustration into condescension, making remarks that came across as dismissive and classist. This approach alienated potential customers rather than convincing them of the merits of handcrafted cakes. While it's understandable that independent bakers feel frustrated about competing with large retailers, belittling customers who choose affordable options or insulting Walmart employees wasn't the way to make their case. Instead, this situation could have been an opportunity to educate consumers about what goes on into custom cakes and why they cost more, without making it an us versus them battle. By focusing on transparency, such as ingredient quality, labor, and the craftsmanship required, small bakers could have highlighted their unique value without resorting to divisive arguments. Moreover, this controversy shed light on a broader issue: accessibility. Not everyone has the budget for luxury items, and for many, a $25 cake means the difference between having a celebration or going without. This conversation could have fostered a more nuanced discussion about the role of affordability in consumer choices, rather than turning into a battleground between small businesses and corporate retailers. So what do you think? Did small bakers overreact, or do they have a valid point about pricing? Were their arguments justified, or did they go too far in their criticism? Should affordability be celebrated, or does it come at the cost of quality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more drama breakdowns. Until next time, stay sweet and keep the conversation going.